What if I told you that one of history's most powerful stories about family, forgiveness, and human nature was told over 2,000 years ago and still holds the key to transforming relationships today? This is the parable of the prodigal son in Luke 15:11-32, told by Jesus to the crowd of listeners. The parable of the prodigal son tells of a young man who demands his inheritance early, abandons his family, and wastes everything on reckless living. When famine strikes and he finds himself feeding pigs, he realizes he'd rather be a servant in his father's house than starve as a free man. He returns home expecting rejection, but instead finds his father running toward him with open arms. Three characters in this story are: 1. The father, who symbolizes God; 2. The son, who represents the lost sinners; 3. The older son, that obedient, faithful, but with selfish thought. This story reveals profound truths about human relationships. First, it shows us what unconditional love actually looks like. The father doesn't wait for his son to prove he's changed. He doesn't demand an explanation or impose a probation period. The moment he sees his son approaching, he runs to embrace him. This teaches us that true love doesn't keep score of past mistakes. The younger son's journey illustrates how hitting rock bottom can become a turning point. Sometimes we need to lose everything to discover what truly matters. His moment of clarity came not from external pressure, but from internal recognition of his father's character. This shows us that genuine transformation comes from within, not from external circumstances. But there's another character whose reaction might surprise you. The older brother becomes angry when his father celebrates the prodigal son's return. He's worked faithfully for years without recognition, yet his wayward brother gets a party. This reveals how entitlement can poison even the most dutiful relationships. The older brother had everything his father owned, but he'd forgotten the joy of simply being his son. The father's response to the older brother is equally revealing. He doesn't minimize his faithful son's contributions, but gently reminds him that celebration is appropriate when someone lost is found. This teaches us that forgiveness isn't about fairness in the traditional sense. It's about restoration and healing. Perhaps the most striking lesson is about the nature of true freedom. The younger son thought freedom meant escaping responsibility and pursuing pleasure. But real freedom came when he chose to return home and accept his father's love. Similarly, the older brother was physically present but emotionally distant, trapped by resentment and self-righteousness. This parable challenges us to examine our own relationships. It also highlights that God allows our free wills but warns of the destructive nature of sins. He further welcomes back those making the turning back to him with open arms and joys. The story's enduring power lies in its recognition that we're all prodigals in some way, and we all need the kind of love that runs toward us rather than away from us. Thanks for watching. PLS, like and share.